Well, do it live! Fuck it! Do it live!
Welcome to the Mouthpiece, episode 182. Today we're going to talk about my week in poker, the NFL, the upcoming baseball playoffs, and whatever else you want to talk about. The Mouthpiece is next. What up? Welcome to the Mouthpiece, episode 182. We missed last week because Danny had to leave and go out of town on Friday. We were supposed to do a podcast on Thursday, but he's like, well, you never told me what time. Yeah, I did tell him what time, but he forgot. So we kind of missed last week. I posted my picks. I went 3-0 last week, 2-0 on the Fade Us podcast. So I'm 7-1 in the NFL on picks this year. And it's ever since the first week when I tilted and I said I would never do that again. I've won like 20 of 24 bets for like $1,000, and that brings my total to of 3 years with everything. I'm like minus 6,000 over 3 years. And the old Mike after 3 years betting sports should be down like 3 million. So, I mean, the only reason why I'm down is because I tilted a couple times, but I've really worked on that. So, yeah. So this week, I have made 2 bets, and today the line moved against me, but that's okay. I know I'm right. I don't care. I do not like Tampa Bay plus 3.5. They are missing like 15 players on the injured list. I did like Tampa Bay was going to be my pick and I was going to take 2.5, and then the line went to 3.5, and then I had to go look and realize that half the team is out. And I was wondering why the line moved to 3.5. But Baker's been cleared, so they might cover. I'm going to use Seattle in Survivor this week. And I feel pretty good about it with all the injuries that Tampa Bay's had, especially without Bucky Irving. He makes kind of everything go for them. But, NFL is all about injuries, and San Francisco was missing their whole team yesterday and found a way to win. That was pretty crazy yesterday. I want no part of the Ravens at plus 2.5 at home versus a team that can't score. You do know that the Ravens lost 6 defensive players, 4 defensive starters last week, and there's no Lamar Jackson. So, and the Ravens have the worst defense in the NFL, not named Dallas Cowboys. Their second worst defense in the NFL. So, why in the world would you want a Ravens team with no Lamar Jackson, missing 4 defensive starters, 6 defensive players in all? That was just last week. They lost their best defensive player for the year against a Houston team that has a top 3 defense. And they scored last week against Tennessee with no problem. I know you'll say, well, Tennessee's so bad. But I really think Tennessee's going to pull an upset against Arizona this week. I really do. Why, you ask, is because Arizona's 2-2, and they've played the softest schedule. They could easily be 0-4. I don't even know. Nobody's beating Philly. Yeah, well, Philly's losing this week to Denver. You'll see. Philly stinks. They're the worst 4-0 team I've ever seen. So my number one pick of the week, and I mean, nobody this line really hasn't moved, but I laid 6.5. It's 6.5 minus 15. 7 plus 115 on the Indianapolis Colts. I don't like laying points in the NFL. The line hasn't moved, which scares me, but the Raiders have been absolutely terrible. And it's one thing that Geno Smith threw 3 picks last week and 3 the week before. He threw 3 picks against the Bears' second and third string cornerbacks. They were playing 2 second stringers and a third string. 3 of their quarterbacks were all out. And he threw picks against them. The Colts, I don't know if I told you this. I think I told you last week. I had a dream they won the Super Bowl, so I bet them at 36-1 for 1,000. I bet Danny Dimes to win MVP at 80-1. And he played. People say, well, he threw 2 picks. The pick at the end of the game, that was the end of the game. But if the guy running down the field on a perfect pass for an 80-yard touchdown pass decides that he's in the end zone at the 1-yard line and doesn't drop the ball, Danny Dimes never throws a pick at the end of the game because the game's over. They win. So, Indianapolis held the mighty Rams offense to 13 points with 4 minutes to go in the game. 13. Then they tied it, but they would have been down by 14 points if the guy didn't drop the ball at the 1-yard line. And everything's different. And then they get the ball back, and the guy, Howard, who retired yesterday, has a complete blown coverage, and they only had 10 men on the field, and Indy scores. The Rams scored to go up 7, then came the pick at the end of the game. But that defense played great all game till the very end, but they shouldn't have been in that spot because the coach or the guy is an idiot. He dropped the ball at the 1-yard line. So I'm still big on Indy. I think they're that good. I think the Raiders are that bad. I laid 6.5, and the Eagles are 5-1 to win the Super Bowl in the offseason. Now 6.5. Well, yeah, because the best team in football right now is the best. That was the best team in football last year until they lost every defensive player, and that's the Detroit Tigers or Detroit Lions. Detroit Tigers are good too. I'd like to be a Detroit sports fan right now. Listen, the Detroit Tigers had the biggest collapse in the history of baseball. And they made the playoffs still. And they beat the team they collapsed against. And they broke out of their hitting. And they had 25 hits the last 2 days. If this team hits the ball, nobody beats Detroit. Nobody. They have the best pitching. They have the best relief pitching. They have the best every part of pitching. Their bats fell off the fucking cliff, and they almost didn't hit their way out of the playoffs. But I just think they've moved forward. They made the playoffs. They beat Cleveland. They have their confidence going instead of all the pressure on them when they were collapsing. I think they're gonna win it all, Detroit, believe it or not. So that's where I am on the baseball. There's a lot of things in the baseball playoffs, but the Indy plus 3.5. Is like the worst beat. Here's the reason why I did lose one of my 8 survivors on the Rams yesterday, but the reason why I didn't even want to use the one was because what the Rams did to me 2 weeks in a row. I had the Rams plus 3.5 against the Eagles. The Rams were up 27-6 in this game. They had to have two field goals blocked and God knows what else for the shitty-ass dog shit Eagle team to win. Then last week, I had Indy plus 3.5, and there's no way I could lose that game. I'm up 7, should be up 14. The guy dropped the ball at the 1-yard line, walking in for a touchdown. I just don't know how pros do this. And I lose that game. So I said, I shouldn't even use one of my survivors on the Rams. Look what this team's done to me the last 2 weeks. And I was right, but I did use one. So I have 7 survivors left of my 8. 34 people got knocked out of the one survivor I'm in for. I think first is $165K, $1,000 buy-in. There's 87 left. I have both my entries left. I did not use any Rams. And my app game survivor, which started with 13 people, is down to 7. That's winner take all, 5K each, 65K. And 2 people used the Rams last week. So, yeah, I'm not using any Colts. I want to save them for week 8. I used 3 Colts against Tennessee. I still have like 5 Colts left. Using them this week, it just doesn't seem right. So I'm going with, again, my number 1 pick, the Colts, -6.5. I just think they're that good. They gave away the game last week, but they dominated that game. That game was 20-13 with 4 minutes to go, and it should have been 27-13. The Rams had no first downs the second half. The next thing you know, they tie the game, and then they win it on 1 point. I don't even know what happened to them last week. Nope. I did not use any Bills last week. I have all my Bills available. And I am going to use a few Bills this week. So I'm leaning towards avoiding Arizona, who will be the chalk, because Arizona is not very good. I mean, here's the thing. The Titans look like absolute dog shit, and they look like the worst team in the NFL. You guys will all agree on that, correct? But look who the Titans have played in their 4 losses. They've played 4 of the top 10 defenses. They played Denver. They're rated like the top defense or second best defense. They played Houston. They're rated like the 3rd best defense. They played the Rams. The Rams were listed as the 8th best defense. And they played Indy, and if Indy didn't give up the 2 scores in the last 4 minutes last week, Indy's ranked 15th in defense. They'd have been in the top 10 in defense. So they've played 4 great defenses, and they've looked awful. Now they get to play Arizona, whose defense is ranked 22nd, and whose offense is ranked 24th, and who's played the easiest schedule in the NFL. So the Titans have played arguably the toughest schedule in the NFL. I mean, they played the Rams. I mean, the Rams, even though they've lost 2 games, they gave away both of them. Even they got lucky on one. They should be 4-1. They're 3-2. They played Houston. Houston's 1-3. They easily could be 4-0. The coach gave away 2 of them, minimum. Houston's been playing great. I mean, their defense is great. They played Denver. Denver's 2-2. They easily could be 4-0. Easily could be 4-0. They gave away the game to the Chargers, and they gave away the game to Indy by leverage on the final field goal. So Tennessee's played great teams. Who has Arizona played? Let's see. They won by 7 against the Saints in week 1. Week 2, they gave up an onside kick and gave up 21 points in the second half, and they had to hold off Carolina, or they almost lost to Carolina in week 2. Week 3, they lost to Mac Jones' first start, 17-16. And then they lost Connor, and they lost their backup running back for 4 to 6 weeks. So Connor's out for the year. Backup running back's out 4 to 6 weeks. And then they played Seattle, who I think is one of the worst 3-1 teams in football. But I am taking them in Survivor this week, and I told you that's why. And Seattle kicked the shit out of them. Yeah, Seattle needed a field goal at the end to win it. But They scored 14 points in the last 4 minutes. They had like 40 yards of offense. They were down 17-3 or 20-6, whatever it was. And they somehow got like Seattle quit playing or something. And the game was like such a mismatch. Arizona's not good, and they played a soft schedule. And everybody's going to be on them. They've had 11 days off. But they're not a good team. I know that people say, like, oh, you can't, it's the only place you can use Arizona the rest of the year. Okay. You can say that about the Saints this week against the Giants. Well, it's the only spot to use the Saints. Do you really want to use the Saints? I might use one. You know? You got to use some bad teams, but I don't know. Tennessee's played the hardest schedule. Arizona's played the easiest schedule. Arizona's got no running backs. I don't know. I'm staying away from it, and it's going to be the chalk in Survivor. So, that's my number one pick. Indianapolis. I laid 6.5 for 2K. Because this is what I do every week. I bet my two best games for 2K, and then I might bet a teaser or two. I bet 4 $500 teasers in baseball just for fun to watch them the last couple days. I hit 3 of them, 3 2-teamers and a 3-teamer for 500. It was kind of fun. I had not yesterday because it was Yom Kippur, so I didn't bet at all. I would have gone 3-0 if I bet though, but I couldn't bet on Yom Kippur. So I had the day before I had the Yankees in game 2. I had the Padres in game 2, and then I had the Dodgers on the run line for a 3-teamer. 500 paid like 2,600. So yeah, it was fun. I could use Houston, but I used them. I only have like 2 of them left. I used 6 of them last week. But yeah, I think it's a good spot. Also, Houston. I mean, a person on earth thinking that Ravens. How could you like the Ravens? They're missing 4 defensive starters and their quarterback. I mean, do you know that the Ravens are 0-4 without Lamar the last 4 games? I mean, their season's on the line, but Houston's like much better team than the Ravens are defensively and offensively without Lamar. So, anyways, so now my number 2 pick, which I took 4, it went to 3.5, and now it went back to 4, which scares me a little bit. Is the Denver Broncos, the team that easily could be 4-0, the team with the best defense in the NFL, going against a team that's 4-0 that should be 0-4. There's nobody in the world that could tell me that the Philadelphia Eagles shouldn't be 1-3 or 0-4. Let's look at game 1. Game 1, Dallas was going down to take the lead right before the fake lightning storm. There was no lightning storm. It was like 8 miles away. And the guy fumbles the ball going in. The Rams, they would have had a 4-point lead. And now they had an hour and 15-minute break. Both teams had a break. And after that, neither team scored again, and the Rams lose the game by 3. So the Eagles went down, got their field goal, and never scored again. And the Rams were going in for the touchdown. And I'm not saying they have to win that game, but they didn't have to win the game, the Eagles. That's game 1. Let's go to game 2 against the Kansas City Chiefs. They were outgained 340 yards to 200. Jalen Hurts had 100 yards passing. And Mahomes throws a perfect pass to Kelsey. It goes off his fingertips, goes into the Philadelphia Eagles' hands at the 1-yard line. They run it back all the way to the 20-yard line. They get a touchdown. It's a 14-point swing. And Kansas City loses by 3. Totally dominated that game. It should be 0-2. Now let's go to the next game. Rams up 26-7. Completely dominated the game. And now the Eagles make a comeback in the second half, and they get a miracle win. How do they get a win? They get back-to-back block field goals. Well, like you could say, well, the Eagles won the game, special teams. Well, the Rams have had 4 field goals blocked. There's something seriously wrong. They had the Titan game, they had 1 blocked. They had 2 in that game blocked, and they had 1 yesterday on the extra point block. So they're obviously, somebody's not blocking up front. And the Rams completely dismantled the Eagles that game and somehow not only lost the game, but the Eagles covered. So the Eagles are 4-0. Then we go to last week's game against Tampa Bay. They had 16 points of offense. Yeah, they got to 30 because Bucky Irving fumbled. That gave them 7. And they blocked a punt for a touchdown. Or a punt return for a touchdown. It's another 7. And Baker was going in to tie the game at the end, or at least get the cover plus 3.5. They were down 8. And he's at the 13-yard line. First down, he throws it right to the other guy. And somehow the Eagles are 4-0 and 3-1 against the spread. 3-1 against the spread in 3 games. They had no right to ever win. Don't let your eyes deceive you. Remember what I said last year when Kansas City was 15-1? I said this team's not going to win shit. I told you the Eagles were the best team last year from week 7 all the way on, and I did. And the Eagles might end up being the best team, but right now they aren't even close to the best team, and they are not better than Denver. And I say, as my second best pick, take the Denver Broncos plus 4. I like them on the money line. I think they're going to win outright, be honest time. So, the Eagles were down 26-7 against the Rams, by the way. And I mean, the Tampa Bay game, the Bucky Irving fumble and the punt return. I mean, they couldn't get a yard. They had 0 yards passing in the second half last week against Tampa Bay, and they can't run the ball. Fucking Barkley's averaging like 45 or 50 yards a game rushing. He's been terrible. They can't pass. They can't run. They can't run block. They can't pass block. The defense has 0 sacks. Carter has 0 sacks, and they're 4-0. I don't know. They could end up being the best team, but if you think they're the best team right now, then you're just that's just like a leftist or a MAGA faggot just saying how great everything is all the time. Because like my best friend and my agent, Rich Belsky, who's a diehard Eagle fan, he talks just like you, Tony. We're the best team. We're 4-0. I go, you're not the best team. You're 4-0. But right now, you're not even a top fucking 15 team. Now, will they be? They could be. But to say we're the best team right now, you're just delusional. I mean, the best team right now is a team that's had the hardest schedule in the NFL, and they're 3-1 and 10-point favorites this week, and that's Detroit. And it ain't even close. They're the best team right now. Yeah, you know, you could say the Bills are the second best team, but really, are they? The Bills are 4-0, okay? The Bills are 2-2 versus the spread. The Bills should be 1-3 versus the spread. A guy made a good comment the other day. Good teams win, great teams cover. That was a very good point because the Eagles covered 11 straight to end the year last year from week 7 all the way through the Super Bowl. Except for the game they lost to Washington. So it's 10 of 11. Great teams cover. Good teams win. And the Bills in week 1, they were like 0.5% to win that game. Less than 0.5% against the Ravens, who are 1-3. The Bills are 4-0, and the record versus the team they have played are a combined 2-14. 2-14, and they're 2-2 versus the spread. So we don't even know if the Bills are any good because they should have lost game 1 to the Ravens. They beat a pretty bad Jets team, 31-10. It feels they lost their quarterback early in the game. week 3 versus Miami, if the guy doesn't rough the punter in a tie game, Miami was getting the ball back with a chance to take the lead, and they could have won that game. Instead, roughing the punter, they get a 7-point lead. Miami comes all the way back down with a chance to tie, and he throws the interception at the 18-yard line. Game over. They lose by 10. They give up the field goal at the end. But no roughing the punter. The Bills might lose that game to Miami. Miami's 1-3. Last week, I told you it was my top 2 pick last week was I was my top 3 pick actually, but I bet 2K on the Saints plus 17. It went down to 14 by game time. They lost by 12. But they were in the game the whole time. So the team that's 0-4 was in the game the whole time. The team that was 0-3 was in the game against, or at the 0-2 at the time in Miami. The Ravens had them beat. So we don't even know how good the Bills are. But we do know how good Detroit is. And nobody can argue that right now. So anyways, there you go. You say garbage time points. They had 2 chances to tie the game. And, I mean, Baker threw the worst throw he's ever thrown in his life. But everything changed on the Bucky Irving fumble. Bucky Irving was driving the ball. They were driving the ball to make it a 3-point game, and instead it's a 14-point game, and they still almost came back at 1. There was no garbage time there. The Eagles are broken. You can't have 0 yards passing in the second half. They're broken. So they could win this week. They could prove me wrong and crush Denver this week, and then I'll say, okay, the Eagles are on track. They look great. But right now, can't get that out of me. Can't get that out of me and won't get that out of me. So there it is. Those are my 2 picks. Indy minus 6.5, number 1. Denver plus 4 is my second best pick. I was looking at those are the 2 I bet. And I will probably bet a couple more for like 1K or 500. Or maybe even put a teaser in there. But, as of right now, let's take a look. So the Vikings are 3.5. I don't think the Vikings are good enough to lay 3.5 to anybody. The Browns have the number 1 rated defense. They got rid of Flacco, who's cost them. He had 7 interceptions in 4 games. Dylan Gabriel will be much better. The Dolphins, this game is interesting. This game was pick, and now it's gone. It went to Dolphins 1.5, and now it's at 1. I have no interest in watching this game. I don't think the Dolphins without Hill have a chance to go anywhere. I watched their run defense. The Jets just gashed them for 8.5 yards a carry. And if it wasn't for the Jets blowing their head off on every play with penalties, they might have won that game, and I might have lost my pick. But so let's see. So this is interesting. This game hit 3, and I wanted to bet it so bad. I went to bet it at 3, and it moved to 2.5, and now it's at 1.5. And I think they got the wrong team favorite, the Cowboys and the Jets. So the Cowboys got sky high last week for the Packers, and they got a 40-40 tie. And they wanted that game so bad. And I liked Dallas plus the 7, but it went down to 6.5. And now they go on the road to play the winless Jets. It's just such a fucking letdown spot for them, And they're not really very good. I mean, they're 1-2-1, but you could look at it 2 ways. You could say the only game they really played bad was against the Bears. They easily could have beat the Eagles, and they easily or should have beat Green Bay last week. Green Bay's defense that we all anointed Green Bay as the best team in the NFL after 2 weeks, and Green Bay's going nowhere. They're just not. I mean, Dak's playing great and all, but I just think the Jets win this week. I think they got the wrong team favored. This line's moving. Moved the whole point today. There's the one Broncos Eagles. That was 3.5. It's now 4. Now this is the one I'm thinking about using a survivor on. And don't you guys laugh at me when I say this, but I'm thinking about using one on the Saints. I know they've had the lead for 0 snaps this year. 4 games in, they have never led one time. And I'm thinking about taking them in Survivor. I mean, the Giants have to go on the road, rookie quarterback, first start on the road, and they lost Neighbors. They're all everything deep threat. If the Saints are ever going to win a game, this is the game they're going to win. This line opened 1 to Giants. It's moved to 2 to Saints. So I might take them in a Survivor. I mean, I'm not sure yet. I'm not going there yet, but I might use one of them. You got to use some bad teams. You can't just use up all your good teams and say, oh, I've got 8 entries left through 5 weeks, but I have no good teams left. The chalk, again, is going to be the Cardinals. This line went from 9.5 to 7, got bet back up to 7.5. They've had 11 days off. And then here's the one that I really like. I like the Seahawks with 11 days to prepare for Tampa Bay, who's missing their... they got 15 guys on missing this week. They lost 5 players last week. So they have a lot of people out. And listen, is Tampa Bay that good? That's a good question. They won 3 straight games to go 3-0 and had to use. They were outplayed in all of them. They were outplayed against Atlanta. They were outplayed against Houston. They were outplayed in all of them. And they were 3-0. Then last week, they outplayed the Eagles, I thought, and had a chance to win and didn't win. So we just don't know how good they are. Seattle's defense we know is a monster, but they wouldn't even trust Darnold to throw the ball last week. They ran it 3 times up the middle and kicked a 53-yard field goal. So I don't know. I'm not a big Seattle fan, but I mean, just I don't know. Just to me, it screams a good spot to use them in Survivor. Hockey's coming up. I don't know. Yeah, I don't watch much of the. I go to some of the games, but we'll see. So, I was just looking just down the list of what I'm going to do here. The Lions are 10. I mean, I used up 2 Lions a few weeks ago. I think I got 2 Lions left. I saw a stat that the Lions, after scoring 30 points and are double-digit favorites the following week, are 18-0 straight up and against the spread. Now, the last 2 weeks fell into that. They were 16-0 in the last 2 weeks, so they scored 33 three straight weeks. And now they're double-digit favorites again. Interesting stat. But we also had the stat yesterday that when San Francisco was 4 points or more dog, they were 1-18 straight up. And that's why so many people lost the Rams in Survivor. So, yeah, the tush push is unstoppable. But if you can't throw the ball and you can't run the ball, it's tough to get into 3rd and 1s and 4th and 1s. I don't even understand. I can't understand how they return every offensive lineman, every offensive player. You can't tell me that Kellen Moore was the reason why the offense was so good last year. Kellen Moore is in New Orleans as a head coach. How they doing? They haven't had the lead one time this year in any game. the Eagles are on. Do you know the Eagles are ranked 24th out of 32 in total offense for an unstoppable team? That's pretty amazing. 24th in total offense. Go look it up. Unstoppable, 24th ranked offense. The defense is ranked like 22nd too, by the way. I mean, they haven't been good at anything but special teams, and special teams has won them two games, and the defense causing a turnover, fumble, have won them the other 2 games, even though the defense can't get a sack and they can't stop a beach ball. But 2 turnovers have won them 2 games, and special teams won them 2 more. Cherry picking stats. They had 0 yards of passing last week. They had 100 yards passing against Kansas City. They're averaging 50 yards a game running the ball. That's not cherry picking. I'll give you another stat. The Eagles are 4-0. They are minus 347 yards total. They have not outgained one team in their 4-0 start. Since 1940, there's only been one other team that was 4-0 and been outgained in all 4 games. That was the 2012 Washington Redskins. You know what their record ended up finishing? 5-11. They went 1-11 the rest of the year after that. Now, do I think Philly's going 1-11? No. Okay? But don't let your eyes deceive you. I told you guys last year, how the fucking Kansas City was a fraud. When it wasn't for special teams, they would have lost to Houston in round 1. And they get the shit kicked out of them by the Eagles. Don't let your eyes deceive you. Through 4 weeks, the Eagles are a bad football team. That's all I can say. Could they turn it around and kill Denver next week? And I'm going to come back on the podcast and I'm going to tell you, you know what? They fixed all their shit. They're going to be tough to beat. Yeah, I'll say it. But the Eagles are not a good football team right now. You know, it's like the Ravens. The Ravens are 1-3. They are not a good football team. That defense has been shredded 3 of the 4 games. The only team that couldn't shred the defense is the awful Cleveland Browns with the worst offense in the football. I mean, the Bills shredded them week 1. Detroit shredded them. Kansas City, who had like one of the worst offenses in the league, shredded them. You are what, it catches up to you, man. And you got to look at who is a good 2-2 team, who's a good 1-3 team, who's a bad 3-1 team. When the Arizona was 2-0, they were not a good 2-0 team, and now they're 2-2, and you look at them and you say, wow, do I really want to bet that team in Survivor? They have looked like shit 3 of the 4 games. I mean, that's it. Ask yourself. So, anyways, there's our football. I'm going Survivor. I've got 7 entries left. I lost one with the Rams. I'm probably going to go with, I'm going to use 2 for sure on Seattle. And I'm going to try and avoid Arizona. Maybe I use 1. And I got to figure out what I'm going to go in my, the one league that has 87 left and the one league that has 7 left. I mean, I could probably go Detroit. I mean, the Bengals are a complete mess. But the carnage is coming. The upsets are coming. The Rams, San Francisco did it on Thursday. One of these big favorites are losing this week. Is it going to be Detroit or is it going to be Arizona? That's all. Or is it going to be Buffalo? I don't know. I think Buffalo, I don't know. It's a vision game. It's a good spot for Buffalo, but I don't know. What do you guys think? Yeah, the 49ers got a great defense. They got look at the defensive coach, right? He was the head coach of the Jets. The Jets had the best defense through 4 games last year. They fired Salah. They had the worst defense in the NFL every game since. And look how good the defensive San Francisco has looked through 5 games. I mean, they're 4-1, and they're missing half their team. I mean, if they get healthy, I mean, they'll be great. I just don't think they can win a Super Bowl without Bosa. That's all. Yeah, I mean, I didn't mind losing my one entry in the Rams yesterday because I knew it was going to be 28% owned, maybe 30. 34% of my one league that had 165 is now down to 87, had the Rams, so that was great. I didn't have it there. And 2 of the 9 left in my 5K, 13 people, they're down to 7 now, had the Rams. So I didn't. It was actually good for me, actually, almost that I lost an entry. I really don't care. All right, so poker is, since we last talked, hasn't been good. I told you guys, during high holidays, I never, ever, ever play poker. Ever. Every year I've gotten crushed. And right after Rosh Hashanah last week, I jumped in the game. I lost back-to-back days, like 18,800. And I played bad. I probably gave away 13 of the 18. And I did not play again since. And I'm going to start playing again starting tonight or tomorrow. But I went against myself, which I tell myself never during the high holidays play poker. So, yeah, so I haven't really played any poker at all. None. Zero. I haven't played mix. Haven't played anything. And I went out Friday last week to a charity poker tournament for St. Jude's. I did play poker live for a charity celebrity cash game on Sunday. I won like 180. I gave it all to charity. That's been about it. But I went out to the charity event. Then I went to the Sphere for this thing, which was amazing. And I was in so much pain they had to wheel me in a wheelchair to fucking Uber. So me walking is not good. I just need to get myself healthy. That's all I have to say. We got to get myself healthy. That's it. The Eagles will be 8-0 when they play Green Bay. First of all, the Eagles will be 4-1 after this weekend. So I don't know who they play after that. I haven't looked at their schedule. I might be wrong. Right now, I look at them as the worst 4-0 team in the NFL. And I'm not so sure the Bills are that good. I mean, they should have lost to the Ravens. They easily could have lost to Miami. They've played the easiest schedule in the world. I really am not that sure that they're that good. But, you know, they do put up points. It's not like the Eagles who don't score at all. I don't know. We'll see. All right. So it's Friday night, 5:45. We don't have that many people. But that thing's broken, right?
Yeah.
Are you sure it's broken? Yeah.
That's not showing the Twitter feed.
Yeah, so we don't know how many people are watching, but I'm sticking to my guns here. I'm going to go. Well, I was going Rams Super Bowl. I was going Rams Kansas City or Rams Indy. Of course, since I had a dream Indy won the Super Bowl, I'm going to stick with Indy. Their fucking defense is great. They're the best rushing team in the NFL. And the name of the game in the NFL, no matter what anybody tells you, is run the ball, stop the run. If you run the ball and stop the run, you get to Super Bowls and you win Super Bowls. Kansas City did not win 2 Super Bowls and get to a third 3 straight years because they weren't the best team at stopping the run. And they were able to run the ball. Pacheco was able to run the ball. You got to run the ball. You got to run the ball and stop the run. Patrick Mahomes looks so much better this year than he did the last 2. Yeah, the Rams' kicking problems are a big deal. You can't get 4 field goals blocked, including one being an extra point, unless somebody. The 2 against the Eagles. I watched the replay. He kicked the ball right into where the guy's hands were. He didn't kick it straight. You got to. He's kicking it too low, and he's kicking it to the right. In other words, he's lining up on the left, more towards the left, and he's like kicking it to the right and trying to get a fade, and he kicks it right into their hands. It's pretty crazy. I am the best poker player, best handicapper, best looking. There you go. I agree. It feels good. Like, listen, I'm off to a good start in the NFL. You know, I'm 7-1 on my picks. Won a few parlays or whatever. But I bet small, man, and I enjoy. I love betting like 2K on my best picks and 500 or 1K on another just for fun. I'll never bet big again, ever. That's why I was so mad at myself week 1 that I actually tilted and just started betting all these games. I'm like, what are you doing? You know, that's not me. I'm too strong nowadays to do that shit. So the football's kept me busy while I'm trying to get my health fixed. I definitely need to go and get this procedure done in Seattle. I talked to my pain doctor. He wants me to get this procedure done in Seattle. I have to get my eyes done because I have cataracts, and I have to get my eye surgery. But like, my glasses broke. You guys could see this. I had to super glue it together because I can't go buy a new pair of glasses because I'm getting surgery on my eyes. So I have to figure out if I want to go to Seattle next week and get this procedure or do the eyes. I think I should get the procedure done first because it'll help me with my pain. And then I'm going to Bay 101 for the Shooting Stars tournament. And I need to get me a scooter for the Bay 101 because if not, I'm going to be hating life. And that's what we need to do. So Bay 101 is the 24th, I think I'm heading up there. My eye surgery was scheduled for the 16th. But I have an appointment with the guy on the 9th. But I also have on the 9th the appointment in Seattle, and I have to decide if I want to go to Seattle next week or do the eye surgery first. So that's what's going on with my life. Politics is crazy. I don't know who's going to end up looking the worst from the shutdown. I think the Democrats are going to end up looking worse from it, but it could go the other way. It's ridiculous. It's retarded. I don't even know where to go, but so I just let it go. The memes are great, though. The sombrero memes are great. All the memes are great. So it's pretty funny. It makes you laugh a little bit. Anyways, all right. Well, let's take some phone calls if anybody wants to call and talk to me.
The Mouthpiece.
If you'd like to take part in our phone call segment, you can give us a call at 702-329-0480. And if you're a snowflake or a pussy and you don't want to talk to me, you can email me at mouthpiecepodcast@gmail.com. Also, follow me at the Mouth Matusow on Twitter for times that our call-in segment will be live.
702-329-0480. And give us a call. Tell me what you want to talk about. We can talk poker. We could talk sports. Baseball playoffs. My Dodgers are through. The Tigers are through. The Cubs are through. And the Yankees are through. And I don't watch baseball during the year, but I do watch a lot of podcast. Yeah. Welcome to Mouthpiece. This is Mike.
Hey, Mike, this is Tony from Philly, home of the Super Bowl champions, home of the 4-0 Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, but they better get better because they are not a good football team right now. I don't care if they're 4-0. They aren't. What are they good at besides special teams?
Winning. They find ways to win.
Okay, but it's not because of their offense, their defense. It's because of their special teams.
They do what it takes to win. Whatever needs to be done in that game is what they do.
I'm going to ask you this. As a Philly fan, 2 years ago, they were 10-1, and they should have been 5-6. And what was everybody saying? Well, they do what it takes to win. That's why they're so good. And they never won another game. They lost 8 straight. Because you know what?
Well, that was before we had A.J. Brown, Devontae
What are you
Smith.
talking about? You had A.J. Brown 2 years ago. You had Devontae Smith 2 years ago. Your defense was a sieve. It was terrible.
Well, no, I'm talking about why they lost in that game, in the Tampa game. They got eliminated in the playoffs that year when they were
right, but they lost 8 in a row to end the year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why you're talking about you're living in the past, Mike. I'm talking about right now.
But they
got the swagger, man.
They looked as bad when they were 10-1 last year as they do when they're 4-0 this year, and it catches up to you.
They don't look bad. Their red zone efficiency and turnover differential is some of the best in the NFL right now.
What have they done well? They haven't turned the ball over. I agree. Okay.
Have you seen their defensive line? It's dominant.
It's dominant?
The best defensive line.
Their best defensive player has 0 sacks. How dominant are they?
Well, you're talking about sacks, right? I'm talking about
they're not
pressure.
Do you remember last year what their front four did? They fucking destroyed everybody on the line. They got to every quarterback. They were the best defensive team. That was the best defensive team in the NFL, and it wasn't close. What has this team done good at on defense? They've got a couple they got 2 key fumbles that have won them 2 games. I agree, right? And then they got the 2 special teams play that won them the other 2 games. Okay? What I'm saying is if they don't fix the run game or the pass game or the pass defense, they're going to get killed. Listen,
we're not even playing our best football right now.
That's what I'm trying to say. They're 4-0, and they could easily be 0-4. They have not looked
that's
good.
Not true.
Okay.
That's not true at all.
Really? What game could they have? You're telling me that Dallas couldn't have beat them? If the guy doesn't fumble the ball.
Well, CeeDee Lamb did drop that ball.
Dropped 3 balls.
He was also...
Whoa.
Okay,
they scored 3 points in the second half against a Dallas defense that gives up 40 a game. Has Dallas not given up 40 in any game? They give up every game 40.
The reason Dallas lost that game and the reason CeeDee Lamb dropped those balls was because he had pressure in his face the whole time. And he had to throw the ball early.
But the last ball was a tough catch. The first 2 were fucking easy catches. Come on, dude. They were down 3. They should they were outplayed in that game. They were outgained 100 by like 125 yards. They were terrible. Let's go to week 2. If Kansas City, if Kelsey doesn't knock the ball in the air on a ball that Mahomes throws right to him at the 1 yard line, that's a 14-point swing. They lose by 3. They lose that game. They were outgained 340 yards to 200. They had 100 yards passing. They were terrible against Kansas City. Game 3, they were down 26-7 to the Rams, who dominated them. They came back only because the Rams had 2 field goals blocked.
No, and because A.J. Brown dominated that game. They finally found a way to get that ball to A.J. Brown. And when it matters most, that's what they do.
But they were down 26-7, and if the Rams don't miss 2 field goals, they don't win.
Right, but when the game is on the line and they need to make a play, they make a play
I'm
every
not
single
saying
time.
I agree. You have to make plays to win football games, but they have not been good. They have not been good offensively or defensively. Right.
But that's a good thing. They're not even playing their best ball right now.
But that's the point I'm saying. I'm not saying they're not. They could end up being a great team, but if they keep playing like they're playing right now, after 12 games they'll be lucky to be 6-6. That's all I'm saying. They could get better, and if they beat Denver this week and they beat them good, I'll say, wow, okay, the Eagles are back on track. I was wrong, right? But if I'm right, and I got +4, and they struggle or lose the game, there needs to be like I tell my best friend who's a diehard Eagle fan, I'm like, you need to start worrying because this is not a good 4-0 football team. You know, just like when
everybody on Philly radio is freaking out right now, like the sky's falling as well.
Well, they should be because they have not looked good in 4 games, and yeah, they're 4-0, and good teams find a way to win and bad teams find a way to lose, like the Ravens. The Ravens are 1-3. And they've looked like shit the last 2 games, and they gave away that one game to the Bills, and they do what the Ravens always do. But I mean, now they have no Lamar for 2 weeks. They're missing 5 defensive players. I mean, the Ravens could be done. I mean, they could be 1-5 here.
I know. Derrick Henry is just crushing my fantasy team.
Well, did you see what the stat that Orlovsky put out yesterday or the other day? So check this out. So on first down or second down, when they run the ball, the Ravens lead the NFL in rushing yards on first and second down.
Oh, that drives me insane, man.
Wait. Listen to this one. Guess how many times they run the ball on first or second down? Last in the NFL. They're last in the NFL rushing the ball on first and second down, but they're first in the NFL when they run the ball on first or second down. So what does that tell you? It tells you that that's coaching.
Man. I know that might be jumping to conclusions, but I think Harbaugh's kind of run his course there.
I've always said that. This guy needs to go, dude. He gives away all these playoff games with these ridiculous, horrible play calls. Think about the fact that
it keeps going. It's carried over into this year.
They have the most yards rushing on first and second down of any team in the NFL, but they've ran it the least amount of any team in the NFL on first and second down. That's coaching. Yeah. You know,
I don't even know why they have Derrick Henry if they're going to give him the ball 8 times a game.
Right, and if you have Derrick Henry, like they said, what are you doing? You know, I mean, Lamar Jackson got sacked 7 times by Kansas City, dude.
The guy I was playing when they played the Lions, he accidentally left the Lions defense in, and they had like 8 sacks on Lamar Jackson and ended up costing me the game. It's just so terrible.
Now they're missing 4 defensive starters and 6 defensive players. Like,
defense is trash. Terrible.
The defense is trash. And Houston's defense is number 3 in the NFL. You want to talk about a team that's 1-3? That's a team that's trending upwards because they're 1-3.
Stroud sucks, though. Stroud is terrible.
He has been terrible. I agree, but his offensive line has also been terrible. Okay? They got 4 new offensive linemen. When you have 4 new offensive linemen out of 5, it takes a while for the offensive line to get good. They can't run the ball. They can't pass the ball, right?
Well, Woody Marks is kind of running the ball a little bit now.
But listen, they got a breakout game last week against Tennessee. Now, we could say Tennessee's awful, which they are, but they also played the toughest schedule. And the thing is Houston's defense is dominant. They lost that game to Tampa because the coach of the fucking Houston's an idiot. They had first down at the 2-yard line, and then he had second down at the 1. Just fucking use your 6'4" quarterback sneak 3 times up the middle. He threw it 3 times and he got no points. You remember that? And they lose that game in Tampa. And then they get the miracle because that was my only losing game I picked so far on the Fadas podcast. I'm 7-1, and I get the field goal. Then we get the ball back, and I get the 45-yard touchdown to go up by 5. Right. And I'm like, oh, my God, I'm going to win somehow, even after the coach fucking fucked me, I'm going to win. And then what do? They give up a fucking – the defense is so dominant. Somehow gives up a touchdown. They hadn't given up a point to Tampa in the second half. And they lose that game by whatever it was, 1 or 2 or 3, whatever it was. But
I wouldn't touch this Houston-Baltimore game with a 10-foot pole. It's just 2 terrible coaches going head-to-head that don't know what the hell they're doing.
I do not like DeMarco Ryan as a coach, but listen, the Houston defense is for real. I mean,
they're nasty.
They're ranked 3rd. The number one, do you know what shocked me? The number 1 defense, which I already knew was Cleveland. They've been unbelievable. Their offense has been atrocity.
Oh yeah, they're insane. Myles Garrett's probably the best player.
But did you know who the number 2 defense is right now?
The Eagles?
No. I told you they're 24th and 22nd in defense, 24th in offense. The number 2 defense right now is the Atlanta Falcons.
Oh yeah, they are. Yeah, they pitched a couple. They had that shutout that probably skyrocketed their numbers.
And the first game again, they gave up 17 points to Tampa. I mean, their defense they should have won that game. They gave it away. Then they won their second game, and then they laid that they crushed Minnesota. They gave up 3 points to Minnesota in game 2. So
Yeah.
and then game 3 they laid the egg against Carolina in a horrible spot.
Carolina has a good defense. I can't believe that. They look pretty good.
Well, I mean, you can't say that. They gave up 47 to the Patriots last week. I started to
that's
think.
right. I'm talking about before that.
I was starting to think they were had a good defense because they got killed game 1, and then they held Arizona scoreless second half and almost won the game. Then they pitched the shutout, and I'm like, wow, they've gone 6 quarters having a lot of point. And a lot of people jumped on Carolina last week. I go, I ain't jumping on them. They got Atlanta in a bad spot. And then
did you say that on your podcast? Because I would have listened to that because I picked up Carolina's defense in one of these leagues and got.
Well, I said I wasn't sold on them because I knew that it was a good spot for Carolina against Atlanta. They blew their wad, just went into Minnesota, crushed them, and they had like 10 days. I don't know. I just felt like a flat spot for him. And Pettis was terrible, but that was shocking. Yeah. Atlanta's number 2 in defense. Number 3 is Minnesota, then Denver. I mean, Denver has the most sacks, 15.
Minnesota looked terrible last week. I couldn't believe that.
They got sacked. Dude, what? Dude, I told my friend, a diehard Minnesota fan on our thing, he picks Minnesota every week. He picks them as a top pick every week on our podcast. I'm like, what are you handicapping? You're a homer. He's laying 3.5 this week against Cleveland. I don't like it. Would you lay 3.5 after you saw what the Pittsburgh defense did to Wentz? What do you think Myles Garrett's going to do to Wentz?
Yeah, no, I got Cleveland's defense this week in fantasy. I hope they give me a bunch of sacks.
You think Gabriel who could run the ball and isn't going to be able to do? He has to be better than Flacco. Anybody could be better than Flacco.
I hope so. I got Jerry Jeudy as well. He's been a dud.
I mean, I kind of like Cleveland this week. The only thing is they've been in Europe for 2 weeks, and you could say
that's not fair how they do that to some teams.
But is it really an advantage? The Jags were there for 2 weeks last year. They got crushed both games. So is it really? Whatever.
How does it really benefit them by sending all these teams overseas? I get it. They're trying to spread the game globally, but they're really hurting a lot of these teams.
But they go play. You get the bye. So you go there, you get the bye. You go there this time like the teams for 2 weeks there. Now they get the bye, right? And so you get 14 days off after there. It's really not that bad, because every team that comes out of there gets a bye. You don't go in there and play and then.
I can see doing 1 week there, like the Eagles opened up there last year and they were fine. And
they ended up 2 there and 1 in Germany, I think it is. So
I think it was Brazil last year, was it?
Yeah, but they did Brazil in game 1 this year. So.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna be honest, man. Like, defense wins championships. You know that, right? The Eagles proved that last year, right? They were the most dominant defense last year.
Yeah, one of the best teams of all time.
But if you look at the last 3 years, right? The team that won 2 Super Bowls and got to a third, they got there because their defense, their offense was terrible. All 3 years. And
the Eagles?
No, Kansas City.
Oh, I was gonna say.
But I'm telling you right now, Kansas City offense, it was against the Ravens, and the Ravens looked terrible. Okay, but they get Rice back in week 6, right? And Worthy looks
Rice
like.
is awesome.
Listen, they said that Worthy would be out for the year. It was either surgery or wear a whatever he's wearing, a sling or whatever it is, shoulder harness. Worthy looked pretty darn good last week. And
man.
This Thornton,
those end arounds are crazy.
How about the passes to Thornton? Mahomes has looked like the old Patrick Mahomes, not the one you watched the last 3 years. Because the one you watched the last 3 years wasn't very good. And a lot of people said, well, it's because he has no receivers. And maybe that's true. But he came in on a mission after they got destroyed in the Super Bowl last year. And he has looked great. Even with no receivers, he's looked great. This team can easily be 4-0. And I mean, they definitely should be 3-1. The game they gave away to the Eagles was a joke.
Well, they didn't give that away. The Eagles just
What do you
destroyed
mean?
them.
They had first goal at the 3-yard line, and fucking Kelsey can't catch a fucking ball and knocks it in the air. They run it the other way, and it's a 14-point swing. They lose by 3. What do you mean they didn't give it away? Kelsey gave away the first 2 games by not catching the ball.
You know, a lot of teams, man. Like,
I know there's a lot involved, but anytime you give away the ball inside the 5-yard line, you know, teams don't do that. You used to see like maybe 4 times a year a team inside the 5-yard line fumble the ball or throw a pick. Now you're seeing it 4 times a weekend. Like, you're seeing more giveaways by teams that Have you ever seen this many giveaways in the NFL?
not that I can think of, but the Eagles do have two dominant. They have the best defensive tackle in the NFL, and one of the
Carter.
He's probably top 10.
I don't know. Carter's
so
not
that's why they're blocking all these field goals.
Carter's
It's
not
a
the best.
fluke.
Carter's not the best, dude.
Yes, he is.
He has 0 sacks, dude, in 5 weeks.
Defensive tackles really don't get sacks. They're not. I mean, they're not.
No, he's great against the run, dude. He's the best run stopper there is, and him being out against Dallas is the only reason why they probably should have lost that game. But if he was in, things might have been a lot different. I'll give you that. You know,
if he didn't get double covered all the time, he would be in the backfield every play.
When the Eagles went to the Super Bowl and he fell to number 9 in the draft the next year, I said, "Are these fucking people crazy?"
It was like Christmas that day.
I said, "This guy's the best defensive tackle in college. I've never seen one bad." Oh, well, he had some off-field problems. Well, fuck it, man. It wasn't like the things that happened to him was what, like a hit and run or something, and he left the scene of an accident, something ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know, but he was projected to be number 1. He falls right into the team that should have won the Super Bowl against Kansas City, right? And then his rookie year, he struggled, but he was dominant last year. You know,
and he's getting better. Besides what he did week 1 with his attitude, hopefully that's the last little bit of attitude that we got to get out of him, and then he just dominated from there. I can't believe he did that. I was so mad.
That's ridiculous. Like I said, I got Denver +4 this week. I think Denver is a absolute top 4 team in the AFC right now, and
that's in Philly, right?
It is, but Denver leads the league in sacks with 15. And they lead the league in the least sacks allowed at 4. Okay? So, if that continues, and the way the Eagles are playing...
But go ahead.
And the way the Eagles are playing offense and defense, I think that even on a short week, I think Detroit's got a good shot here. I mean, look at the 2 games that Denver lost. Okay? I won instead of push because I got the good number, but I was going to push with Indy +2. And they get a bullshit leverage call and the guy gets kicked out.
Yeah, I remember that.
Right? So that was one of Denver losses. Then they led 20-13 over the Chargers, and the coach played so conservative that they lost the game. I mean, he just ran the ball, played for field goals. I don't even know how they lost that game against.
Yeah, the refs are missing a lot of calls, and they're making a lot of stupid decisions. Like, it seems like more than often. The refs have not been good. I agree with you.
Especially
with pass interference.
Yeah.
Like,
speaking of
they need to make that
refs
reviewable.
And stuff. Did you see the umpire in the Padre Cub game in the 9th inning yesterday? He called strike 3 on a ball that was 2 feet down and 1 foot outside, and instead of 2 outs and men on second and third, it would have been a run in and 1 out and men on second and third, and maybe they win the game and maybe they win the World Series. The umpire literally stole it from him. Now next year, if there's that you could tap the hat and you get like each player gets 2 challenges per game to challenge balls and strikes. So
hopefully that happens because they're missing a lot.
They're missing so many. You can't have the umpire fucking dictate a game. Same with the NFL.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that go on in the NFL, but listen, your Eagles better get better, or they're not going to win. That's all.
We're fine. We don't need to get better.
Listen,
we're rolling. Don't worry about it.
If Detroit beats them like 23 to 10 this week, there should be everybody in Philly should be a 5-alarm fire. That's all I have to say.
You should hear these people on the radio. I'm in the Philadelphia radio fantasy football league, and I call in and talk to these guys. and they think the sky is falling. I'm like, what are you talking about?
I mean,
we're 4-0, and we're not even playing our best ball.
But again,
I don't get it.
The year before last, after they won the Super Bowl 2 years, or after they should have won the Super Bowl 2 years ago, when they were 10-1, the sky was falling. This team should have been like 5-6, and they were 10-1. And everybody's like, well, they find a way to win. That's all that matters. Winning's all that matters. Winning's all that matters. Just like what you're saying right now. And then what happened? The sky fell, and they lost 8 in a row because the handwriting was on the wall. And I'm just saying, if they do not get better, you're going to see a 4-4 football team or a 4-5 football team. And I'm telling you right now, I'm not saying they might break out. Barkley might go for 150 this week, and A.J. Brown might go off, and the team might just slaughter Denver. And then everybody, and then what will I be saying next week? Well, if Philly looks this good,
Tony from Philadelphia.
I'll be like, if Philly looks this good, I'm like, and after the way they looked the first 4 weeks, I'm like, nobody's beating them, right? But as of right now, but listen, through 4 weeks last year, they were 2-2, and I said, and they gave away that Atlanta game, right? So they should have been 3-1, right?
Then got destroyed by Tampa, which was a nightmare.
Right. Well, the coach gave that game away. I mean, they should have just, how they don't run the ball twice, they throw the ball, and even give Kirk Cousins a chance to get the ball back. And then after they were 2-2, they dominated. So remember,
they went on a run.
They're 4-0 this year, and they haven't looked good. They were 2-2 last year, where they should have been 3-1, and they looked good. They didn't look as bad as they look now. And then they took off. So, let's see what happens. But right now, I'm just saying, if they don't get better, the sky is falling in Philadelphia. So.
Well, they will get better. They're going to win the Super Bowl again, and the Phillies are going to win the World Series, and we're just going to be partying and living the life here in Philly. And I'll send you a postcard.
The reason why, after Week 7, I said last year the Eagles were the best team in football, and it wasn't even close, was the Lions were 7-0, but then they lost Hutchinson in Week 6, right, which was huge. Then they lost 6 more defensive starters. How that team ended up getting 15 regular season wins with that third-string defense was unreal. Well, now they got look how good this defense is right now. I mean, their front
Detroit does scare me.
Detroit front four right now is what the Eagles front four was last year, right? Now, the Eagles were really good on the back end last year on defense, on the pass defense too, where Detroit has struggled on the back end, right? And Detroit doesn't have the players that the Eagles had on the back end last year, but the Eagles have 5 new starters on defense. They replaced 10 new defensive starters, and they have not looked anywhere close to the defense of last year. Not saying they won't, but right now they haven't. Detroit
in the beginning of the game last week, they looked dominant defensively against Baker Mayfield.
They did,
and
Baker
I think
was terrible. But
what
then,
we're going to see more of.
But they were, it was 23-7 at halftime, right?
Yeah,
and they're down 2 scores, and after halftime they were terrible. And if it wasn't for the Bucky Irving fumble was like, I didn't even think it was a fumble. I looked at the replay.
I don't think it was either.
Right. I'm just like, his forearm is down with the ball. How are they saying it's a fumble, right? And that's a 14-point swing. So now instead of 23-15 or 23-14, it's 30-7. And I'm sorry, they had already made it. It was already 23-14 when that happened. That's right. So that was a 14-point swing that made it 30-14, and the rest is history, right? And even then, Baker had a chance. I mean, that pass was so bad. I mean, he had a chance to score there, and now they covered it.
Mayfield? Are you talking about the last pass?
The pass, that terrible pick he threw. That was the worst pick I've ever seen in my life.
Well, that's because the ball got tipped. I don't think it was a bad play. It was just
it got
Eagles
tipped? I didn't even know it got tipped. On that interception in the end zone?
Tipped.
Oh, I had no idea.
Yep.
Oh, that makes sense because Baker was just like fucking lighting him up in the second half.
Yeah,
Baker's
Baker
my boy.
Make mistakes like
my
that.
boy is, I can't believe I'm going to take Seattle in Survivor this week, but I'm doing it because of all the injuries. I mean, injuries dictate football. I mean, they didn't yesterday with San Francisco, And listen, did Mac Jones play great yesterday? Yeah, but as great as he played, fucking Frisco had 6 points in the second half, and the Rams had a million chances to win that game. A million.
Yeah.
Blocked extra point.
I got two quick questions
Go
for
ahead.
you, and I'll let you
I gotta
go.
get another
Would you consider trading A.J. Brown if he starts making a big stink, if you were Howie?
No. He's that good.
I wouldn't either. I don't know why people are talking about that around here.
Well, you know what? Listen, I'm a big Jalen Hurts fan. The guy doesn't make mistakes, okay? He is a leader of men. He was counted out and thrown to second string to Tua. He then went to Oklahoma, should have won the Heisman. He couldn't read a defense when he first 2 years in Alabama. Couldn't read a defense. All he could do is run the ball. That's it. Couldn't throw, couldn't pass. There's nobody that worked harder than this guy to be the player he is.
Yeah.
With that said, last year, they didn't need Jalen Hurts to throw the ball. He averaged like 200 yards a game because Saquon went off. But I do believe what some of these talk show hosts have been saying, you have to start opening the pass game so they could stop defending the run game. And if you're just going run, and you can't get the run game going, now the pass.
Well, the reason they've been such a successful running team was because of the threat of A.J. Brown, and I think if you take that away, it's just going to destroy everything.
Well,
man.
I just think you've got to start with the pass to A.J. Brown and to Devontae, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
And you need to start pass, and then if you start making completions through the middle of the field, throwing the ball over the middle, throwing the ball one-on-one outsides, you get the pass game going. Now they don't key in on Barkley, then he gets going. But right now, if you're just going to go run, pass, you're going to look like you look, And Barkley is he's averaging like 45 yards a game, some ridiculous stat. Right?
Yeah, there's something going on with him. I don't know what it is, but
I just think that they're keying. They're keying on the run, and I think that the new offensive coordinator has been terrible calling plays, and I agree with Brown. The offensive play calling has been horrific, and
apparently Jalen was the one who was calling the plays in the second half of that Rams game. Like he kept checking out of the plays that the coach wanted.
Did you see the
offensive coordinator?
Did you see going to overtime yesterday, where Stafford pulls what's his name? Tuata? Who's the guy they threw that long pass to?
Tutu Atwell. And they draw up a play. They're all looking and they're shaking. This is when San Francisco has the ball. And they and then the second play, when they get the ball, boom, right to Tutu Atwell. That play was drawn up by Stafford on the sideline. That was a beautiful play.
Have you seen the replay? You have to see the replay of him drawing up the play with Atwell. All three of them are in a huddle, and he's pointing each way, and they shake their head, and the second play, boom. I mean, how does a coach give it to Williams, the guy who fumbled away the game? I mean, when you're just the other guy's got 3 touchdowns or 400 yards. I don't. After the game, he's like, I gave away the game. Well, no shit. How do you give? Why do you give away a game? Yeah. Yep. All right, well, my last question is, I never hear you talk about USC, and you're in Vegas, man. They have a stacked card this weekend. Are you not interested in that at all? UFC, I watch it, but I don't talk about it because I'm not really into it. Yeah.
Do you ever go to the events?
No, I've been to one.
No,
I went to the McGregor last time McGregor fight when he broke his fucking right foot.
Oh, yeah. That's a bad one to go to.
That whole card was the worst card I'd ever been to in my life. Every fucking fight was awful.
Yeah, so, this weekend's card, and it's in Vegas, is stacked. Isn't
the main guy, what's his name? What's his name? Starts with a P? What the fuck?
Alex Pereira.
Pereira's in the main. He's fighting in the main, right? That's the main bout?
Yeah, yep. And then you got Merab Dvalishvili.
I met the
140
guy.
champion.
Who's a guy that he lost his last fight? He's really good with the pink hair. I met him. He's a poker player. I met him at the World Series at the Colossus.
Oh, yeah, Sugar Shane O'Malley.
Yeah. I met him. I'm like, yeah. I go, I bet you the last fight. I said, he goes, yeah, it sucked. He goes, yeah, it sucked, man. I hate losing, right? He was actually really nice. You know,
yeah, he's a cool dude. He's awesome,
really
dude. I watched
cool
him at podcast.
And he says, listen, man, You take your lumps and you get back in there and you fucking fight. The guy's
He's
winner.
a great fighter. He just can't beat Marab, man.
I mean, he lost
Marab is
again.
Such a nightmare.
So he's lost now 2 in a row. The one I bet him about a year and a half ago, and then he fought a month ago, and he lost again.
Yeah.
Who did he fight?
The same guy.
That was the same person. So So the 2 losses in a row were to the same person. I did not know that. He got killed both times by the same person. That guy killed him.
Yeah, it's just a matchup nightmare. Like, his style does not go well against Marab at all.
I think he should go in there, win a few fights again, and then hire a different person to. Yeah. Because that guy dominated him. I didn't know it was the same guy. Shit. I just know his
cardio is the best I've ever seen out of anybody. Marab, the champ Marab, the guy he lost to, he has a gas tank. Like, that's just always.
I like that. That Sugar Shane Mosley is such a nice guy, man. I'm telling you, we talked for like a half hour. It was right. It was like during the last event, during the closer. It was pretty cool. Yeah, it was really good, though. All right, man.
Yeah, I watched his podcast. He's a really good, down to earth dude. But cool. Yeah, man, it's good talking to you, Mike.
Too,
appreciate it. And
hey, listen, if your Eagles, I don't care if your Eagles win this week. They can't win by more than 4. That's all. 3.
Okay, 3. We will though.
You know, and but see, me and my friend each took 5 teams each, and he has the Bills and he has the Eagles. I gave him Tampa Bay this week too, and I had the Rams. I have Detroit. I have San Francisco. And listen, man, San Francisco, they get healthy. They're going to be tough. The only thing is I don't think they can win a Super Bowl or even get there without Bosa. Bosa, it's just kind of like Detroit losing Hutchinson last year. You know, you can't. Bosa's everything for them. You know, the Eagles.
Purdy's back, right?
No. Purdy might be out for 2 more weeks. He might even be out.
Did he try and come back and then go back out?
He tried to come back and he re-injured. He has the same injury as Burrow, but not as bad. He's got turf toe, but it's not a completely torn ligament like Burrow had, where he had to have surgery. It's just strained ligament. So he came back too quick, and it's a shame because, you know, they had the Thursday night game coming up here. He probably, you know, they only lost that game because Purdy threw 2 picks, but you could see he couldn't push off his foot, so all the balls kept sailing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Purdy's great, you know. People are like they're bringing up the video where they were saying, "Oh, if Mac Jones 2 years ago, Mac Jones was on San Francisco, he'd be just as good as Purdy." So they're running that clip that what's his name said 2 years ago. It's circling the internet because he's been great. He's looked just as good as Purdy in his 3 starts, you know. But that's not. But it's nothing to do with being on San Francisco. I mean, they were throwing a fourth string fucking wide receivers last night. By the way, I picked up the guy that went for 150 in fantasy. I picked him up for nothing. So we got a lot of fantasy points last night.
Oh, nice.
But Bourne was incredible, you know. And but it's got nothing to do. Look, McCaffrey, what do you have? 20 yards, 30 yards rushing? I mean,
that was odd, especially for Shanahan.
What
I think that's one of the lowest rushing starting running backs in the Shanahan era.
Yeah,
that game.
Yeah, and listen, why did they win? Have you ever seen Mac Jones get the ball out of his hands that quickly in your life?
Yeah, dude, I think Mac Jones is better than most people give him credit for.
Well, dude, he was Rookie of the Year 3 years ago. You know? And the thing is you can't play as well as he did in his rookie year and then say he sucks, okay? In year 2 and 3 for New England, he wasn't good, but that offensive line was a disaster. He dropped back to pass, and they killed him, right?
And Belichick wasn't sharp those last couple of years.
What did Belichick do? He ran him under
center.
He was
coaching like Biden.
He ran him under center over and over, and by the time he dropped back, he was sacked. What did Frisco do last night? They ran him out of the shotgun every single play. Every single play out of the shotgun. He looked at first read, second read, and he was, boom, right on target. You know, they're all short throws, but that's what you need to do to win. Like when Brady won all those Super Bowls, like except for when the perfect game year, they had the perfect record and they lost in the Super Bowl, but when they had Moss, but What did they do well? Brady was under center, and they short passes.
Yeah, the Gronk and Wes Welker and all those guys.
But when Mac Jones, like after his rookie year, and they had no receivers, he was just sacked.
Yeah.
Listen, the second half, the Rams fucking put it on them. They scored 6 in the second half.
Right.
Yeah, he didn't make mistakes, which is good, and he was throwing to 4-string wide receivers, which But when you hold a team to 6 points in the second half and you're only down 10 at halftime, and you have the offense that the Rams have, I mean, look what they had to win the game. They had to have a blocked extra point. They had to have Frisco hit a 60-yard field goal, and they had to have the guy fumble the ball at the 1-yard line. And they had to have whatever play call that fucking was on 4th down last night. Like, there had the parlay of all 4 of those. The parlay of all 4 of those for the Rams to lose, like, it was ridiculous. So they were like, the parlay for them to lose to the Eagles was like 1,000,000 to 1. The parlay of them to beat Indy last week was about 100 to 1. Because if you remember, Indy would have been up 14. The guy was walking in the end zone on an 80-yard touchdown pass by Jones, and the guy drops the ball at the 1-yard line for a touchback. Crazy. And then the Rams come down and score.
Flashbacks of Deshaun Jackson.
Right. So like the Rams, for the Rams to cover last week was insane. For Philly to cover the week before was impossible. So that's another reason why. That's one reason I kept saying I don't want to take any Rams in fantasy. They fucked me 2 weeks in a row. And look what they did last night. Look at the parlay for that team to lose in Survivor. I mean, what a joke.
Yeah, you would think they'd be better with guys like Devontae Adams.
Dude, they are. They're 3-2, and they should be 4-1. They gave away the game to the Eagles. They gave away last night's game, right? Those should 2 be wins, and they should have lost to Indy. So they should be 4-1. They're 3-2, and they're the best 3-2 team in the NFL, and nobody's going to tell me any different. They'll be like, wow, well, they lost to it.
It's just such a beast.
Well, they lost to Frisco with a backup quarterback and 4-string wide receivers. They're not good. Well, it's a short week. When you're on a short week, your body's still beat up. That was a very physical game they played against Indy last week, and that's it. All right, man. I'm going to get some more calls, and thanks for calling.
All right, man. Go Birds.
You got it. Just don't cover.
All right, man. So good talking to you, Mikey. Take care. God bless.
Yeah, 702-329-0480. Give us a call. And talk some football, talk baseball playoffs. Baseball playoffs, like I said, my Dodgers are through. I don't think the Cubs have any chance of beating the Brewers. And I'm going to bet on the Brewers. The Dodgers are small favorites. Their bullpen is a joke, but the Dodgers are peaking right now. I think they're probably going to win. Yeah, that was a good call. It's a good call talking football. It was fun. Yo, welcome to the Mouthpiece. This is Mike.
Hey, Mike, what's going on?
What are you doing, man? Who's this?
Do I need to mute the TV?
Hmm?
Not live. It's Aaron.
What's going on, Aaron?
Hey, I wanted to talk about knockout poker and what I need to do, moving forward and everything,
Well, the reason why I haven't talked to you in a while is I have been in just awful pain. I don't answer the phone. I don't do anything. I'm just trying to get myself to the doctor and get myself better. I sit home. I don't play poker. I don't do anything. The pain is so bad. And
I just heard when you talked to one of the previous callers that you said you were debating whether going and getting the eyes done or going and doing a procedure.
Yeah. And I'm thinking, here's the reason why. The only reason why I was going to do the eyes first is because my glasses broke, and I used super glue to put them together. And then it came apart, and then I used the super glue again. Now, it hasn't come apart yet in 5 days, but it's probably going to come apart, and then I won't be able to glue them back together. And then what do I do? And there's no reason, and I can't get new glasses because the surgery is gone. I won't need glasses after the surgery. Yeah. And so that's where I am right now. just deciding what I need to do. And I think I'm better off. I want to go to the urologist and double check everything before I go to do the procedure in Seattle. But I also want to I can't be in this pain and go to the Bay 101 Shooting Stars because there's no way I could play for 4 days in this type of pain. And
you won't be able to play your best and concentrate.
I've got to get myself a scooter. I've got to call her. I've got to get a scooter, and then I don't know how far the hotel is from the casino. But I need to look, and I need to get plane tickets too. And I'm just so busy. I don't know, and I can't move. Like literally, I can't walk down the hallway. Just to walk into the office is so brutal. It's gotten really bad. I can't even explain it to you, dude. It's so bad. I went out last Friday, and then I couldn't. My neurogenic claudius, could be whatever it's called, that makes makes me like paralyzed. Like I couldn't walk at all. It's like 80% paralyzed at the fucking sphere. I had to get I couldn't walk at all. So I'm dealing with the thoracic spinal cord injury, and I'm dealing with this pelvic floor dysfunction, and I can't fucking do shit. And it's been taking a toll on me. And I did Yom Kippur services. I did the.
Oh, where'd you go for Yom Kippur? Did you go anywhere?
I did it. I do it on the video because I can't walk. I can't even stand.
Yeah.
And so I did that. I did the healing service, which was really good. I don't know if you've ever been to one of those. Those are really good. So I did the healing service. That was at 3:00 yesterday, and then the afternoon services at 4:00. Yisker was 5:00, and then the closing services. So, yeah, I'm just trying to get myself healthy, though. That's it.
Yeah, that's the most important thing. I mean, I want you feeling better. I just saw you doing the Mouthpiece, so I thought this would be a good time. I'll call in, and
I appreciate the call.
See how you feel, and
I appreciate the call, Aaron. And listen, we're going to get this done. I just got to. I've got to worry about myself and I don't know what to do, dude. It's very bad. That's all I could tell you. It's the worst it's ever been. I can't walk from my bed to the hallway without being in horrible pain. So we'll see what happens. If I don't have to walk much, I can usually go out and do things. If I have to walk at all, it's really bad. I can't. I cannot. I go to physical therapy once a week, and I've gotten zero relief from that. So
yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah, I've never done physical therapy. I go to the chiropractor a little less than once a month. I was a paratrooper, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I can have some like sympathy to your back pain, but it's way beyond my.
I don't have back pain. I have zero back pain. I have pain that shoots into my hip, and then into my groin area and into my right knee, and I cannot walk. And then when I walk long distances, I have that pain, and then from the pressure on my spinal cord from the other disc, I start to get paralyzed, and then my whole entire body starts to hurt. Both legs start to hurt. Both arms start to hurt because of the pressure on the cord from the other disc.
Yeah.
So I'm dealing with two different things, and the one where I struggle to walk long distances I've had since the surgery, I could deal with that, right? But this hip and knee pain started in 2021. We've got to address and find a way, and hopefully this procedure fixes it. That's it. That's all I can do. If this procedure doesn't fix it, now I went to my pain doctor after I left physical therapy on Wednesday, and at first he was against me getting this procedure done, and then I told him pretty much everything and what I think caused it, and after reevaluating it, he believes that the guy in Seattle will help me, and he wants me to go. And he was against it at first. So I sent him the video of the procedure, and after he inspected everything with me on Wednesday and where the pain was coming from, and he thinks now the procedure is going to help. So we'll see what happens.
Well, all I can do is say a prayer for you, Mikey. God bless you. You have a refuah shlema.
Thank you.
Beyond that, like, I was a medic in the Army, but that's way out of my scope of practice. I don't even understand, like, the mechanisms and roots of some of the pain I feel.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is I can lay in bed and not move, and I'm in zero pain. I could then, if I then have somebody, an assistant, stretch me out, and then I get into my scooter, I'm in very little pain. That's how I was able to get through the World Series. Okay. If I have to walk, or when I get up, go to my bathroom, take a shower, brush my teeth, get clothes, get up and down 3 or 4 times, the pain is so excruciating that I can't move. And so, dude, it's not normal where you can't even get dressed. Yeah. You can't, it's
no, that's not good.
So I've got to hope that this procedure works. And I'm thinking maybe I go and do the procedure before I do the eyes, and I do it this week on the 9th that it's scheduled for. I just think it's a better. At first, I thought I needed to do the eyes first, but if the procedure helps a little bit, and then I go to. I go to for the Bay 101 Shooting Stars, and I'm not in the pain's way down. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking about doing that first, and I was going to get up today early, and I unfortunately woke up at like 1 or 2 o'clock, unfortunately, and then said I've got to get up early on Monday. So we'll see what happens. All right, buddy, I'll hit you up. Okay, take care, and we'll get that done. I promise.
Okay, Mikey.
Right,
I was thinking of coming to town next week for the G2E Expo. Do you know about that?
No.
No, it's the gaming expo. It's where they introduce all the new games.
Gotcha.
And promote the games that they have.
Mm-hmm.
So it's at the Venetian, and I was seeing the coming, but it was for Thursday the 9th, and you're going to be out of town. So now I might not even bother to make that trip or do it a different time.
Well, I'll know on Monday if I'm going to be there for Thursday. So.
Oh, you'll know by Monday.
I'm going to call on Monday and decide whether I want to go there on Thursday, on Wednesday, or not. So, all right.
Okay,
I'll talk to you later.
I'll give you a call next week or shoot you a text or something.
All right.
And just the only thing I have so far for Knockout is the tagline. It's similar and simpler to Texas Hold'em. And of course, the instructions, the algorithm for how to play it, and everything is patented.
Well, I promise you, we'll get it done. Okay, I just got to get healthy. So, that's
okay.
Why,
that's
they want me to do this Venetian Big O game during me and Phil and 3 Coin and a couple other people.
Yeah,
for
I love Big O.
F1 weekend.
Big O is
for F1 weekend, but I'm going to tell you right now. If I can't move, I don't know what I'm going to do, especially F1 weekend with so many people in town. I'm going to have to bring my scooter down there, and we'll see what happens.
When you see how well the derivatives of Knockout play in comparison to Big O and all those other games, it's similar and simpler. It's faster. There's more action. And
as long as
some
it's
of the
faster,
ones,
that's good. The faster it is, the more we got a chance of making it work. I told you that. So.
Yep, that's 100. Every I've invented. It's 5-1. Knockout poker is 5-1 poker games.
Gotcha.
And each derivative is faster than a round of Texas Hold'em or Omaha.
Good. Well, we'll go over it. We'll go over it as soon as I get this procedure done and my eyes done.
Oh, I'm just glad that you have a window, an opportunity for some relief, for some comfort. And
it's costing me like $30,000. $14,000 for this procedure. Then the eyes are $4,900 a piece. And I haven't been playing poker. I'm betting. I've been crushing sports, but I'm only betting like $500 or $1,000 for fun. So I think I'm but I mean, I need to get in there and play poker. Like I said, I played it last week. I lost $18,000. I told myself, I never play during Rosh Hashanah until Yom Kippur is over. every year because I used to get crushed, and so I made sure I didn't play. But I want to play tonight or maybe tomorrow. Hopefully get some. The game's been full lately, so I wouldn't be able to get in anyways. But hopefully there'll be a spot for me to play, and I can make some money.
Well, I want to get you in there and playing knockout poker. I think when people see it, they're going to go crazy for it because there's all the depth you can have as in a hold'em game for strategy. And I mean, really, it's for champion players, the best in the world like yourself. It's for you to determine, the future of the game, not for me. I'm the inventor, but there's a lot of player base and a lot to go forward,
Yep. I'll hit you up this week, man.
Okay,
I
I'll
appreciate
talk
the
to
call.
you later, Mikey.
All
Take care.
Later. Bye.
Bye.
That's my friend Aaron. He invented some poker games that we're going to hopefully bring to the forefront. But like I said, unfortunately, I can't do anything. I'm glad you read my book, Rusty. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm sure you read it in 2 days like everybody else. Anyways, 702-329-0480. Give us a call. Talk NFL, baseball, playoffs, poker. Hopefully not politics, but we can always do that if you want. So I was going to say, I do believe the Brewers are going to beat the Cubs. I think the Brewers are really good. I do think the Dodgers are peaking, and I think they got a good shot to beat Philly. But what wins in the playoffs? Playing good baseball, moving runners along, and having dominant relief pitching. Last year, the Dodgers had 0 starting pitching and the best relief pitching in baseball. And they literally won the World Series with using their relievers. They had 2 starters last year, Yamamoto and somebody else, I forgot, whatever they had. Then they were using, and the guy who's on Philadelphia right now, the one that Boston let go. What's his name? Starts with a B. I'm having a brain fart. Boston let him go, and he's been great for Philadelphia. He dominated for the Dodgers last year in the playoffs, had a terrible regular season. How come I'm having a brain fart? You guys know who I'm talking about. Starts with a B. He was, for his surgery, he won like the Cy Young for the Dodgers. He's been pitching great for Philadelphia. He was so bad for the Red Sox. How do I not know this fucking guy's name? He's a great playoff pitcher. Philadelphia's going. By the way, Shohei's starting game 1 for the Dodgers against Sanchez. Sanchez has been great. Blake Snell has been great. He's going to be announced. So they only announced. The Dodgers have announced who's pitched for them the first 3 games. Philadelphia has not. Walker Buehler. Walker Buehler is on their team too. So, and they got Sanchez, Luzardo, Taijuan Walker, and Aaron Nola. They have great starting pitching, but losing Wheeler really helps. But they did pick up Walker Buehler, and he's looked pretty good for him. He's a great playoff pitcher. Flaherty pitched great for the Dodgers last year, and the relief pitching was so good. But Philadelphia's got dominant pitching, dominant relief pitching, but they only have like 2 reliable starters, maybe 3. The Dodgers have Snell, Yamamoto, and Ohtani, and they have Kershaw, who was 11-2, pitched great for the Dodgers last year. He was off their roster in the short series, but he'll be on the Dodger roster. He'll probably pitch game 4 for them, I would think. I'm not sure. I don't know. That's going to be a tough series. I do think the Brewers are going to win. I'm going to bet them to win. I think Detroit's going to win because they finally got their bats going and they have the best pitching. And I think the Yankees are going to win. The Yankees came on super strong at the end of the year. They won every game. They lost like 1 out of the last 12 and almost caught Toronto. I mean, somehow Toronto scooped 3 in a row to end the year and held on to the division. Detroit blew the division, but they got the best pitcher in baseball in Screwball. I don't know. Seattle's really good, and they made all those great trades at the deadline that made them really good. But I mean, their offense is homer and bust, and that just doesn't work in the playoffs. But they got great starting pitching and great relief pitching. I don't know, man. If Detroit hits like they did the last 2 games when they got 25 hits, Detroit's got the best pitching. I don't know. I'm gonna go with Detroit. I mean, I want my Dodgers to be there. It'd be so great. I'm gonna go with Detroit, and I'm just trying to be a realist. I'm gonna go. I mean, the Brewers also have bad middle reliever, but they kill the ball and they got great starting pitching. You know, the Dodgers are fucking hot. Fuck it. I'll go with my Dodgers. I'll go Dodgers in Detroit. Fuck it. No, I wish I made 20. I wish I made $1 million off my documentary. I'd be the happiest in the world. But we'll see what happens and what we made off of it. But it's it's doing well. Can't complain. Been a lot of people see it. 702-329-0480. We've been on for 1 hour and 48 minutes. We could talk baseball. We talk the NFL. We talk poker. Whatever you go. See what we want to talk about. Looks like Barry had no MSNBC talking points to type in today. So he's gone. Bye-bye, Barry. And I appreciate you enjoying the documentary. Thanks a lot, Kurt. I appreciate you very much. And yeah, if I made $27 million off my documentary, I wouldn't be. I don't know where I'd be, but I'd be playing a lot higher poker. That's for sure. I'm just kidding. Let's see what else is going on, man. 702-329-0480. It's Friday night, 7 o'clock at night. You know, whenever we do Friday nights, it's always not as good as Saturday nights. You know that, Danny. Thursdays, or it seems Friday, it's always been a little bit slow. Yeah. Yeah, maybe it is the time, right? It's probably a bad time. Probably should have gone like 8 o'clock, but I have to go to dinner with a friend out of town. Oh, it's going to suck. I ate like shit yesterday, and I have to eat like shit again. But I'm going to dinner with my friend at 7:30, who's visiting from Hawaii. I can't even move. My fucking hip and my knee hurt so bad. But yeah, we'll see what's going on, and I'll look forward to this weekend. So I bet, like I told you, I got Indy minus 6.5. I got Denver plus 4. And let's see, what else do we got? Oh, I'm just wondering if, I don't know, maybe I'll make a teaser on something. There's going to be some upsets this weekend. I hope I'm right. I hope the upsets this weekend is Tennessee over Arizona. Arizona had 11 days to prepare for this, but they looked so bad without Connor last week, and then they lost their backup running back. And like I said, the Titans have played 4 of the top 8 teams on defense. The Titans have played Denver, number 4, Houston, number 3. Rams were like top 5 before yesterday. Another great defense. And then they played Indy, who was ranked 14th in defense, and that's only because they gave up 2 touchdowns late. They played 4 really good defenses. Now they play Arizona, who defense has not looked good. They have not looked good at all. I mean, Seattle went up and down the field on them with that offense. I don't know, man. I mean, the play for sure in Survivor is the Cardinals. I mean, but you also, if you could fade them and find some others, you know, and they lose, now you got a shot to win. And I've got, me and my friend are partners. We have 6 entries left in Circa, and I have 2 in this other place for were $1,000 buy-ins, $165K for first, and I have 1 in a 5K buy-in with 7 of us left. So, yeah, I mean, the Lions are going to be chalk. Arizona's going to be chalk. I mean, they're going to be chalk. Just wondering if I take the Chargers against the Commanders, missing their best wide receiver. You know, I've been thinking about that too. I've also been thinking about the Bills. You know, this is a good spot for the Bills. You know, the Bills have a pretty tough schedule. They've played the soft part of their schedule. You know, now their schedule gets a little bit tougher. You know, both their easy games are on the road. You know, but anytime you're on the road, you can lose. Anyways, I'm going with the Yankees, man. I think they're hot. I mean, they got 2 great pitchers. That kid last night, he was something. Toronto really doesn't have much pitching. They hit their great hitting team, but pitching wins in the playoffs, man. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Yankees, Detroit, and listen, Detroit was dead in the water, but they just got 25 hits the last 2 days. Yeah, they lost game 2 with 15 hits or whatever. They left all those men on base, but the hits are coming, and this is a team that could not hit the last month of the year. If they get the hitting going, they have the best starting pitching, the best bullpen in the American League. It's no longer even close. So, let's see what else is going on. You know, that's not true. Tylenol actually put out a thing in 2017 that says if you're pregnant, do not use Tylenol. You know, there's like there's a million links in the last 10 years that links Tylenol to autism. So why do you think Trump's just going to come out and say it? And then all the other companies have said it. There's like 4 or 5 CNN articles linking autism to Tylenol back in 2016, 2017. But now Trump says that it can't be. Yeah, I 100% do. 100% think it is. But I believe most of it's a vaccine. And if you know what Tylenol does, it suppresses glutathione, and you need glutathione for your brain when you're young. It all makes sense if you look it up about glutathione. But I think it's vaccine related. And I also think it's Tylenol related. I think there's a lot of things related. The bottom line is autism has gone up 900% or more than that in the last 30 years, and you have to ask yourself why. Just the fact that they're trying to figure out why is a plus for the country. If you don't have a kid that's autistic, then you don't understand what's going on. Like Danny, granddaughter's autistic. She says like 2 words, and she's almost 4 years old. You know, we don't know what caused it. And there's this new medication that's been going around, and I've been told Danny about, that's been helping young kids that are autistic. So hopefully that'll work. But anyways, you know, it is what it is. I think the greatest part of Trump is trolling everybody and just laughing and making everybody laugh, because it is funny. The shit he says is funny. He's the funniest president of all time. And when you wake up and you see a funny ass tweet or something, it just puts a smile on you. Just laugh, you know. So, we'll see what happens. The market is so on an all-time high. It's so scary. It's almost like this. My brother says October 6th, the market's going to collapse. He might be right. I don't know. I did buy the dip in Bitcoin when it got down to 109. I bought like 50,000 worth. So that was good. Anyways. All right, guys. I was expecting another call or two. I didn't get one. So there it is. My top 2 picks for the week. I got Indy minus, we're 7-1. So far, we have Indy minus 6.5. Denver plus 4. I really think I'm going to throw out 2 that I really like. I really think the Jets are going to get their first win this week against Dallas. I think Dallas shot their load against Green Bay. And this line has moved from 3 down to 1.5, but I love them at 3, the Jets. I think the Cowboys off defense is not very, it's just awful. I think the Jets get their first win. And you know what? I think the Saints get their first win also. So there's really nothing else to bet. Like, you take the Browns plus 3.5, but if Gabriel sucks, they could end up getting killed. You know, you can lay 10 with the Lions if you want. They're 18-0 when they score 30 points or more the week before, and they're double-digit favorites the next week. But here's the reason why I don't like the Lions. They have Kansas City on deck. They got to go to Arrowhead next week. This could be a flat game for them. This is a team that doesn't come flat, though. But the Bengals have looked so bad, and if they come flat and the Bengals, all of a sudden Brownie looks anything better than he has the last 2 weeks, boy, their defense sucks and their offensive line sucks. Boy, the Bengals have looked terrible. So, who knows there, man. I don't know, man. I like the Chiefs when they were at 3, but again, I don't think this will be a look ahead for the Chiefs because the Jaguars are 3-1 and it should be 4-0. They gave away the game to the Bengals, so I don't think the Chiefs are going to look past the Jaguars, and I think the Chiefs are really good, guys. Everybody's exaggerating. Teams made it 3 straight Super Bowls because their defense is dominant, and I think they're really good, But again, they got the look ahead next week against Detroit, and that is going to be a hell of a game. So, all right, go Dodgers. I will see you guys next Friday or Saturday. If I get my procedure done in Seattle on Thursday, then I'll be back here Friday night, and then I'll do the podcast on Saturday. And I'll let you guys know if I get it done. All right, guys, good luck. Thanks for listening to Mouthpiece. See you next week.
The Mouthpiece.